Hey Cinemal's Fire, today I want to talk about video editors because I'm looking for a new video editing program, which turns out is a trickier thing than I thought it was because I'm looking for a very particular ability. What I want to be able to do is bring in a long clip, cut out the pieces that I want from it, put them aside in a different area, and then when I'm ready, drag them back down into the project. Part of the reason I want to be able to do it this way is because it's sort of the way I was taught, that's the way iMovie was set up when I first started using it, and that's the way I got accustomed to editing. Now I can actually do that with the program I already have. I've been using Corel Video Studio X6 for a year or two now, and in a lot of ways it already has what I want. I can trim clips and put them aside to use later, it's fairly intuitive. There's just one really large problem with it. When I'm trying to look at clips to actually edit them, there is a 2 to 3 second lag every single time I push play. Observe. XCOM's difficulty rating goes from XCOM's difficult to progress. It's not that big of a deal if you only have to watch each clip once or twice, but when you're constantly going back because you're trying to find the right place to cut a clip, and you have to go back and hit play and wait, and then it goes, and you have to go back and hit play and then you wait. It's like several minutes of waiting. I've tried it on a few different computers and I've always had the same result, and I just sort of dealt with it because it's what I had. The weird thing is that I haven't found a lot of other people complaining about it. In fact, the one time I found somebody complaining about this online, they were told, that's just the way video editing works. It takes a lot of resources, and you should just expect that in any video editor. And no, you shouldn't! Now, my computer is not a powerhouse. I built it like 5, maybe 6 years ago, and I've upgraded it in different ways since then, but it's by no means top of the line. But it's still been able to handle pretty much anything that I've thrown at it, and I know that it shouldn't be so old that I get 2 to 3 seconds of lag every time I push play in a video editor. And I've tried every configuration I could think of in the settings of this program to get it to work. I even talked to their support, nothing. So I finally started looking around recently, and it turns out that almost every video out there has a 30-day trial you can download, so I downloaded like 5 of them. And guess what? I was right. No other video editor has a 2 to 3 second lag every time you push play. In fact, most of them are almost instantaneous. But this brings me back to that one feature that I said that I wanted. It turns out that's not the way editors are created anymore. A lot of editors have an expected workflow now where you will bring in your clip, trim down the piece that you want, and then drag it into your timeline. You'll do it one at a time. And that works great if you have organized clips. Let's say I'm a filmmaker and I've shot everything in takes and I have all of my takes organized. I can import my takes, I can find the pieces that I want, and I can put them in my movie. And it would be great, except that's not the way I'm generally going to be editing video. I'm generally going to have one very long take that I'm pulling multiple clips out of, or I'm going to be pulling in a different source, which is a very long take that I want to get a couple clips out of. I want to be able to pull out the clips I want ahead of time instead of having to drag them all into my timeline and then try to sort them out down there when I could just put them aside and bring them back when I need them. So one of the first editors I tried was Corel Video Studio X8, which is the new version of the one I already use. And it was very familiar. It was set up in the same way, it had a couple extra features, it was still very intuitive, it still had the clip shelf feature that I wanted, and it still had a pause every time I hit the play button. I also tried Adobe Premiere Elements, which worked fairly well, but had no way to trim clips and put them back into a clip shelf. I looked at HitFilms 3 Express, which actually seems like a really powerful free editor, and it has a lot of the same features of Adobe Premiere Elements, including that you can't put clips back in your clip shelf. By the way, this is something you can do in Adobe Premiere Pro, but my budget is under $100. I looked at Cyberlink PowerDirector 14, which had really solid reviews, but I really didn't like the interface and the icons, and also you couldn't do the clips thing that I wanted to do. And finally, I looked at Sony Movie Studio 13, which doesn't have it exactly the way I want it to work. It doesn't let you trim the clips and drag them in, but it does let you right-click, say create subclip, and then organize them however you want in your media area, which is close enough as long as everything else works well, which so far it has. It's been a lot faster than Video Studio X6 or X8 for that matter, and it seems like it's probably the one I'm going to end up going with, mostly because of this one feature, but also because everything else seems to work just fine also, and it's in my price range. I'm working on a fun little project with it to kind of get accustomed to it. Also, a lot of the free trials don't let you export the video without some kind of a watermark that lets you know it was created in a trial version, and Sony doesn't seem to have that, so I will probably try to make this video in it as well, just to keep getting familiar with it. So my questions for you are what you look for in editors, and if there's something I'm overlooking, something that I should be able to do in another version that I think that I can't, or something I should be doing that I'm not, or maybe there's another program that I haven't tried yet that I should give a shot before I make a decision. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I will be here making gestures until I figure out how to cut the end of this video out.